Well, we're going to take this moment. It's Thursday. We try to put to the situation. We talk about streaming, we talk about anime, we talk about manga. We try to pop it in on Thursdays, sort of a sit back and just have a nice little discussion on things. And one thing, I've said this before. There's some great content on anime. I'm still way behind on a lot of stuff. I still got to get through Oshinoko. I know there's been through a lot of episodes on there. Things have been a little busy here because of the New York situation. What's been going on here? The federal probes, and we've been stuck on a lot of that content on there, trying to bring that information to you. There's been other situations with crime issues and some other minor issues. We talked about Crackle this week. That R.I.P. Crackle. They're gone. They had some anime content on there. But one thing, one of the best animes I've ever seen so far, and this is just of the recent within the last 5 years, and it was actually it was sort of a rom com in a situation, which I generally don't watch a lot of the rom coms, but some of them are really good, and I do. If you like romantic comedy situations on there, do go ahead and check them out because there are some good out there that are, and more that are on the way, and some of them are getting second and third seasons out of them. But one particular one that was a big hit, and they were calling the waifu of the year, situation that it was in the corresponding the top 10 for 1 year, is the series My Dress Up Darling. Now, if you've seen this, it's a really, really good series. The main basis, it's about this cosplay girl who's trying to get her costume together, and she hooks up with this guy who works for a sort of a mini factory that his family runs, that they make these little dolls that basically he sews them. He sews the clothes, he puts them all together, and he's really good at it. He learned from his family, from his grandfather growing up with this. And the girl, she asked if he could make her costume for her, and he agreed, and it turns into this whole insane things that are going on. That he creates these great things, and sort of a love romance starts to bloom on there. We got out of it, and we were just still, there's supposedly a second series or season or something like that that's supposedly coming. I don't know when that's going to happen. I think it 2022 they had mentioned it. But still nothing as of yet. But just last week, what a trailer kicked out, and it is the live action version of My Dress Up Darling, which you may say to yourself, "Oh God, it's another one of these," like on Netflix and so. Well, don't knock it till you try it. For number one, this is not something that's going to be run on Netflix yet. This is something that's going to be on Tokyo Television, TBS, not the TBS here, TBS there was Tokyo Broadcasting Services, that will run broadcast-wise. Because the one thing about the Japanese is they let's see. From what I've seen on a lot of their stuff, it's not like a hit and miss. They'll go with a couple that are good, and then they'll get like one, two, or three that are so-so, and one or two that'll end up to be bad. So they got a better record than the U.S. Hollywood productions of live-action anime to the situation. And this may, one thing about this particular show, it's an easy show to do. It can be cheaply done. It's mostly, you're going to be making costumes. You're going to be sewing. You're going to be having conversation. This is sort of like a soap opera, into the situation. I know Lifetime Television is going to try to resurrect this through movies on the Lifetime network. But I think people do enjoy like a soap opera type. I mean, you talk Latin America still makes some great soap operas. And people do watch the older versions on Tubi TV and many other streaming sites where they're available free. And you look to the perspective that this particular series is sort of a soap opera-ish, a rom-com. For it to be live action, they don't have to put massive special effects into it on there. It'll work. I hope. I think it will work. They are using the original music scores from the series, the opening and closings. I think that's Princess Hero and Lovey Baby. That's going to be used in the series. But yeah, it's coming out. I think it's October for release on this in Japan. So, of course, there will be guys online trying to get this. Be going yo-yo-ho, a bottle of rum, if you understand my meaning on that. But I think eventually one of the streaming sites will catch this, either Crunchyroll or maybe Netflix will grab onto us. I mean, there have been other series that have done okay, on Netflix and Crunchyroll. It's more toward Netflix as far as from Japan productions. In other words, being made in Japan. Unlike like what they did with Death Note. What Netflix did with Death Note was horrible. The Japanese version of Death Note was fantastic. Now, they also, looking at Parasite, Parasite Maximum, and then they had the Korean version of Parasite. Those were good. The Parasite, the sequel itself, my wife enjoyed that. I enjoyed it also. It was not that bad. Had a good concept on that ending, and hopefully they'll get a second season out of that, but there's been no talk on that as of yet. And remember, Death Note in Japan got several sequels, including L. I think the last one was L, if I'm not mistaken. That the sequel on that. And there's a lot more coming, and there's more anime coming in too. You got Uzumaki coming in very soon. Finally, Uzumaki. And from what I understand from some people that have seen it so far, they said it's not bad. It's pretty good for something that finally, because Junto Ito has been done on the big screen before, and it's been so. They said this might change the whole parameters with this, and it could maybe end up to be more of this being done from Junto Ito. Now, switching gears over to Dragonball Damia, which is going to be out very soon on streaming. Most people have been talking about the English dub. The English dub is coming. I know there's going to be some changed actors on the voice that are coming for the English version on there. They made some changes. Toei and Crunchyroll made some changes. But one thing, before it airs, the English dub version airs on streaming, it will get a theatrical release. Yeah, folks, yes. Phantom Theaters will be doing a special in accordance with Toei, sometime about November 10th through 12th. It's a limited event, and it'll be the first 3 episodes on the big screen. I mean, so far what we've seen from the trailers, it looks pretty good. I mean, a lot of people are calling it back to GT in a way, but you got to remember, this is Akira Toriyama. This is one of the last things he's done before him passing away. So we know it's going to be good. The storyline as well. And, there's word that Super, I guess they're going to continue Dragon Ball Super. I'm not certain about the anime, but I know the manga will be, there will be new episodes on the manga, which probably most likely will mean Super will return to the screen sometime in the near future. But from what I understand, for this particular story, it'll be a little different than the usual Dragon Ball. So hopefully, some nice changes and stuff like that, and some great action. Because with the animation, the way things have been going lately, you've seen it in some of the other series on there, and they've done really well for itself. If we get something like that in this Dragon Ball series, it should do very well. And it's always been popular. I mean, even GT is not the greatest series out there, but it still has its fan base, and that's okay. That's okay. I didn't like it, but I know there are guys that are out there that that do really enjoy it, and that's okay. That's okay. See that's the situation. We can agree to and disagree at the same time to the situation. This is what the problem is with Hollywood, Disney, and all this, is that they try to push out this content with political aspects and stuff like that, DEI and all that, but they're not telling a story. Okay, you could tell a story. Sometimes it may not be a good story, as far as you write it and basically it doesn't have all these political crap in it, and it doesn't do that well, but you still get a fan base out of it. Not like what the Acolyte is doing or any of these others. You'll get somewhat of a good fan base. If it's really good, you'll get a gigantic fan base, and that's good too. There are going to people that are going to be agree and disagree with series on there, but when you interject politics into the story itself and make that the gloss over and forget that you have a story to tell, that's the problem. That's the problem. This is why anime and manga are beating the shit out of the stuff here in the West. Because they don't worry about that crap. They say, well, you guys are not diverse. No, it is diverse. Depends on what it is. Plus, also, you got to remember, they're Japanese. Same thing if you go to Korea. They're Korean. But they do add people of Spanish, black, white, to the situations on some of these series, depending on what the story is. And it has been good. You've got good superhero stories. You've got good horror. You've got good romance. I'll say you got a little bit of the good, the nasty stuff too. What we call the fan service. Some of it happens to be very good. As much as they criticized the gushing magical girls, which probably will get a season 2 out of this most likely, it was a good story. As much as it was cringy for some people, but it was watched. And the same thing with, which we hope we get, is Redo the Healer. Redo the Healer was a good story. And guess what? Mostly women watched it. People don't realize the largest viewership was out of women. Figure that one. Because these type of stories, like for example, Redo the Healer. Redo the Healer is similar stories that has happened here in the 70s and 80s. Like a revenge plot where someone has been done bad, as you can say. If you've seen Redo the Healer, you had movies like Miss 45, I Spit on Your Grave, and many others that are sort of a similar type of subject matter of someone getting revenge for what they've been put through, but the torture they've been put through. It is not new, but it depends on what type of story you're handling. Here you have a time travel story where the guy who was tortured, something like that, travels back in time, more powerful, to get revenge on all those who done him wrong. And is he going to do it right? Or, what's the old saying? You die a hero or you live long enough to be the villain. Yeah, think about that. And yes, people getting revenge can do wrong, even if though they were the innocent. They too can become the guilty for the crimes that they're going to do. And it happens in stories. It happens in real life too. They say, well, it's in a cartoon form. We shouldn't have on that. Please, come on. Sit down and watch heavy metal. Watch that once go round. Tell me that that's wrong. Or Fritz the Cat, or many other animated movies that were made that from the American side that had more of an adult premise to it. There's plenty of it out there. See, the thing is that most people don't understand when it comes to animation, anime, anything like that. Sometimes a production, it'd be sometimes cheaper or easier to make it into an anime, than to go out and do a live action, shoot it as a live action. The Japanese have been doing it for decades. We have been doing it off and on for decades. We don't do enough of it. We should be doing a lot more, because there was some stuff that came out that was really, really good. I mean, you had the Bashki stuff, which is really well done. People criticize the Bashki stuff because of its content and for its subject matters, but it was a well done animation. That's the artistry of the situation. That's the art part of the situation. You may not like the way it looks, the way Lord of the Rings, the Bashki Lord of the Rings looked, but it was really good. I have it on DVD. I watch it a lot because I enjoyed that. Even though the live action, I have no problem with the live action one. What Amazon put out, that's garbage. That's pure garbage. That has nothing to do with Tolkien. That's someone's fan fiction, crazy fan fiction from the internet. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that straight out. Because, you write something up, you don't have all the rights to it, and you try to put some story together that it's like you write the Terminator story minus the Terminator. And you and nothing to do with Skynet or something like that, but you have all the other players involved in the situation trying to put that story together without the Terminator. Doesn't work. It becomes insane. I mean, recently we got Terminator Zero, which was really good. And that's thinking in the box. That is really thinking in the box. Take to the perception that time itself, and the way they explain it, is that every time you go back, it's not the same past. That every time you take that trip, it's a small doorway that just literally closes after you go back. It's not like where you see the Terminator go back and you can say, oh, I'll wait about 3 or 4 days before I go. No, you can't. You got to go back immediately. Because that moment where that Terminator went back and you go back after him closes. After that, you go back, something changes. So it kind of works out. The way this was written, it kind of works out and explains that Terminator 1, Terminator 2, Terminator 3, Terminator 4 are all in different time zones, different, paradoxes. And now you have another computer, AI computer, that's fighting against Skynet now. Will it join Skynet? Will it, fight against it? We don't know. We have to wait for a season 2. Hopefully they'll do a season 2. And it was really good. I highly recommend it. Go catch it. It's really good. And here's the best premise to Terminator. And I say, brilliant. And I knock them for this. Note, in Japan, weapons are not readily available. You might find a handgun or a shotgun here and there. And it's mostly the police that will have it. So this is not to a point where Terminator goes back in time and he goes into the store, phase plasma rifle in the 40-watt range. No, he can't do that. He can't grab a 9mm. He can't grab, he can't grab a machine gun or anything like that. So what do? You adapt. And what he adapted to, he created some sort of crossbow with these nail gun effect in his arm. And he sewed it into his arm. Brilliant. It's brilliant. Like I said, go catch it on Netflix. It's well worth the watch. It's about 8 or 9 episodes. So comment below. Let me know your thoughts about this. We took a little long on this, but there's a lot of news out there with the anime and animation world that's going on. And like I said, we choose this Thursday to do something like this every time. So we'll be able to, just have a little talk together. Hopefully we'll be able to do this live. We'll do this with guests, hopefully. But we're still trying to put the studio together. It's going to take some time. Because we have, there's some minor issues, computer, mind you, but we'll get there because we're starting to wire up a little bit. And we're working on it. You can hear probably some noise in the background. We'll try to muffle that out because we finally got the windows open. We figured that one out. So comment, subscribe, like, share. And I know you had thousands upon thousands of videos that you could have watched, but you sat down and clicked on this video, and we do really appreciate it. So until next time, thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.